Indeed. Minister Lavrov, you've stated here would you like some water, sir? Is that what you're looking for? Okay. NATO's desire for eastward expansion is the root problem, and then you went on to say that the OSCE is another chapter in this cheating. Do you feel that there is a viable path, I'm not saying return, a viable path to cooperative security on the European continent?
Cooperative security is one of the terms used in NATO, in European Union, in OSCE. It all depends. Frankly, we are just at the beginning of the process. We don't want to rush things. We want everybody to join in free discussions, to present his or her views, and I mentioned repeatedly that a couple of years ago, President Lukashenko of Belarus convened a first conference on Eurasian security. Mm-hmm. The second one was last fall. I participated in both. And the third, it is an annual feature. Invited to this conference were not only like-minded countries, but also members of NATO and European Union, some other Europeans like Serbia, Hungary, of course, participated in both of them, Slovakia, and the list of invitees would be growing. It is not against anybody. It is not against NATO. I think the biggest enemy of NATO is NATO itself and those who were trying to use it to dominate in violation of their own pledges in OSCE. But the fragmentation process, which I mentioned, which is taking place in the world economy, it is also reflected in the security area, the discussions of NATO, the scares of Europeans, that they would be left to their own devices. We don't interfere. If they believe that they are still relevant in the form which failed many times, this is their right. This is their right to decide. Our right is to make sure that the matters of the Eurasian continent are discussed and resolved by the countries located on this continent. This is not to close the door for outsiders. Take, for example, Central Asia. The 5+1 format is, I think, mushrooming 10 or 12 groups like this, with the US, with European Union, separately with France, with Germany, Japan, South Korea, Turkey, Russia, of course. I just had yesterday the meeting with 5 foreign ministers of Central Asian countries. So outsiders always are participating in something which they believe is of interest to them, and if they can find a form of cooperation which would be mutually beneficial. We cooperate with many countries in Africa, in Latin America, so do Western countries. Turkey in Africa is very much present. So do the Arab countries. The matter is, when you come to somebody's region, you should respect the views of the regionals,
the hosts.
And host countries, if you wish, and not impose your rules, like our European and British colleagues are running all over the world. It used to be also Biden administration involved in this, running all over the world, saying, don't trade with Russia, don't sell to Russia, don't buy from Russia, don't meet with Russia. I know, because those are the facts. And this is not multipolarity. This is obsession with your global role, which you invented yourself and which worked during colonialism, during post-colonial times for some period, but now there is a second awakening of the Global South. After the decolonization process, the Global South was happy, freedom, but now they understand that the global economy was crafted the way which left them with peanuts from the use of the natural resources which they inherited from God and history. Absolutely. I remember during the second Russia-Africa summit in 2003 in St. Petersburg, President Museveni of Uganda was giving statistics of the world coffee market. Mm-hmm. All in all, assessed at about 450 billion euros, of which Africans were left with 40, less than 10%, because their contribution was raw beans, harvested and sent for roasting, packaging, advertising. Germany alone was getting more from the world coffee market than all African countries together. So this awakening is inevitable. Yes, the tariff war, which we witness now, is going to, change many things. We hear that many countries would like to sit down with the United States and negotiate. Fine. We would only be happy if people reach some deals peacefully and to their mutual satisfaction. World Trade Organization, unfortunately, is paralyzed. It was paralyzed by previous American administrations for many, many years. And there is no global institution which would be authoritative enough for everybody to accept its ruling. So I believe we just must have these discussions about security, Eurasian security, but in the context of the multipolarity movement, which is shaping itself up objectively.